James Aaron, comic book cover, episode 22. Moving on up there. Lots of cool and exciting stuff coming out this week. This is a pretty good week for comics. Plus, so much hype coming up off of the Superman, Batman, and me personally cannot wait for this movie to come out. I was really excited about Star Wars because I grew up in that era, but this movie is probably the movie I'm most excited about because my two favorite characters are in the same movie. A lot of criticism being thrown that way, but hey, you know, there's going to be something with every movie. This, personally, I found pretty cool. I liked Man of Steel. I could do a whole video on how wrong it is that everybody bashes that movie. That was a great movie, in my opinion, much better than the Nolan films. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. So, our featured comic this week is going to be Old Man Logan 2. Man, I have to say, I love that comic. I love that team anyway of Jeff Lemire and Andre Sorrentino, and they just nailed it so much. It feels so much like the original. I liked the Battle World thing. It was good, but this is really just nailed it. Plus, this issue, the cool thing about that is, basically, if you read the Old Man Logan story, you know his whole family is killed by the Hulks, like a gang of Hulks, pretty much. So he's kind of going back and taking care of everybody that did something bad to his family. So this issue, he's out to kill Bruce Banner. I mean, Wolverine versus Hulk. And plus, if you're reading Totally Awesome Hulk, which I'm not, but I've gotten little pieces of, and I'd like to read it, Bruce Banner's missing, I guess, and Amadeus Cho's trying to figure out where he is, so he's most likely going to run into Amadeus rather than Bruce Banner, but still, it's going to be Old Man Logan, Wolverine versus the Hulk. If you have not picked up number 1, you need to pick it up, especially if you're a Wolverine fan, or if you read the Green Arrow run with Jeff Lemire and Andre Sorrentino, you really should pick this up. They make a great team. Jeff Lemire's putting out a lot of good stuff right now. Fortunately, I can't read it all. I've actually had to drop a lot of stuff, but that's just how it goes. There's a lot of good stuff out there. Jeff Lemire, you should read anything he's on, though. Extraordinary X-Men is really good. Not a fan of the art, but I love his writing. Plus, he's going to be doing Moon Knight coming up. So there, you Moon Knight fans, there you go. Jeff Lemire is going to be on Moon Knight, and it's coming out very soon. On to the rest of Marvel stuff. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. number 2. The good news for Phil Coulson that he's being reunited with his former love, Lola, who it turns out is not a flying car. Bad news is she turned his mind into a weapon that could destroy the Marvel Universe. That's a pretty interesting storyline. Cool thing, Mark Guggenheim's writing this comic. He is the producer of Flash, Arrow, and Supergirl, which I love that show. Martian Manhunter. Oh, yeah. So that's kind of cool. The guy that's doing the DC shows is writing the comic book for the Marvel TV show. I think it's cool that there's unity within that group of writers and artists, which you don't really get so much with the fanboys. You've still pretty got like Marvel and DC, which I love them both. My favorite characters are DC is why I consider myself more of a DC guy, but that's because this is one thing where I'm like, I don't care if it's cliche. Superman and Batman are my favorite characters. They're the OGs. Wonder Woman too. But it's the same, I love Captain America. He's another one of my favorite characters. Spider-Man, Anyway, point is, very cool. I'd like to check this comic out myself. Deathlock's in it, so you got that. All new, all different Avengers number 5. I really wish it'd just be the Avengers. Just saying. It's a mouthful. So basically the villain that's been pulling the Avengers strings is going to be revealed in this issue, and it's going to be somebody that they've known since almost the beginning. And, if you've been watching any of the teases, it looks like it's the Vision, which is pretty interesting. The Vision was created, if whether you've seen the movie or read the comics, it's the same. He was created to combat Ultron. It's gonna be interesting to see him play the villain role. I'm hanging on to this comic. I had a little issue with the last issue because it kind of felt like Mark Waid's writing of Thor was very much just like a female talking like Thor, whereas if you read the Jason Aaron comic, she talks in the Asgardian way when she is Thor, but She doesn't sound like Thor. She sounds like her own person, and I kind of felt like there wasn't much identity difference in there. But that's my only complaint, really. I've really enjoyed the comic overall. I do miss the original Avengers team, and I would like to see something pulling more of that group together. But there's plenty of reasons why we're not going to see that for a little while. Plus, it's building up into Standoff. And I'm also trying to keep up with Uncanny Avengers, which I'm behind on, but because that's the Steve Rogers comic, plus Cable's in it. So, but anyway, everything's kind of building up into the Standoff thing, where we're going to get Steve Rogers back. Really don't care for his shield, but if you didn't watch that 75th anniversary of Captain America special, you should. Moving on, we got all new Hawkeye number 4. All new Wolverine number 5. Journey to the center of a clone Wolverine will have to go where she's never gone before in order to save the lives of the mysterious 3 sisters. I haven't been able to keep up with this one. It's Tom Taylor, and I really dig it. It's very good. I think I'm just kind of I really love Wolverine and Logan. I don't really need X-23, but if you're looking for more stuff, I can't say anything bad about it. You know, my reasons in not keeping it are by no means because it's not good. I think it's more to do with the whole, I love the X-Men, but I'm just not as into the X-Men now. Speaking of, all new X-Men number 4, Scott Summers, young Scott Summers, is, I guess, you know, in a way you could say he's trying to clear his name. Black Knight number 4. I don't have anything to say on that. I know it's connected to the Weird World universe. It's also being canceled, so there you go. I was kind of wondering, is Marvel's doing the thing that DC did, where it's just like, let's throw anything out there and see what sticks, and I had a feeling that was not going to be a comic that was going to stick around, and really, and to Marvel's fault, it's like, why should just the average reader say, hey, I'm going to pick up Black Knight? There's really no reason to. And there's a few other things that they're kind of throwing out there. It's a lot like the New 52 thing, where you get a lot of books, and it's cool because, you know, they're exploring different things, but, you know, a lot of it's probably not going to stick around. And there's probably good stuff that's going to get canceled, like Captain Atom did with DC. Darth Vader number 16, this is a new story arc. The planet Shu-Torun, introduced in the Darth Vader annual, is revolting. Darth Vader is tasked with leading a military assault. Has Vader's rise to glory begun? I don't know, I think Vader's rise to glory has already begun, but, you know, it's Darth Vader. I'm kind of biased on this one. He's definitely one of my favorite villains ever. If you're not reading Star Wars or Darth Vader, what's wrong? If you're a Star Wars fan, of course. If you're not, then I can totally understand, but if you are, jump on, man. Just quit waiting around. Just get it on. Get going with it. It's probably the best thing out there. I mean, Jason Aaron's in particular, like, when you read it, you can hear the voices. It's awesome. It's a great comic. Both of them are. And they interconnect, so that's another reason to kind of pick up both of them. They just got through the Vader Down story, which was awesome. You can get that in trade here pretty soon, and I recommend it if you have not read it. Deadpool number 7. This feeling something's happening with Deadpool. It's really big. I don't know what that is, though. Guardians of the Galaxy number 5. Last raccoon standing, the Guardians face their toughest battle ever and aren't going to make it out the same way they came in. This is a pretty cool comic. I read the first issue. I liked it. This is another one that I kind of wished I could have stuck with, but and now you just get so much stuff, and I have to get DC and Marvel, and that makes it difficult to get a lot of each. Illuminati number 4. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur number 2. Miss Marvel number 4, which is another good one you should be checking out. New Avengers number 6. Red Wolf number 3. Silk number 4, a popular character. Seems like she's kind of waned a little bit. And Spider-Gwen number 5, same kind of deal. The Spider-Gwen thing's been pretty huge, but I don't know. I mean, I think it's just a lot of thing with Gwen Stacy since she's been gone, maybe. I don't know what it is. It doesn't connect to the regular Marvel universe. It's not important to that universe, so it's kind of another one of those, why should I pick this up? I know a lot of people really love it, though. I'm not knocking it at all. If you're a Gwen Stacy fan, it's definitely the comic to read, because that's the only place you're really going to get Gwen Stacy. Spider-Man 2099, number 6. Yet another comic that I actually really enjoy, but just dropped because I had so many other things I needed to dwindle that file size down a little bit. But Peter David has done an excellent job on this comic. I really dig it. I think it's really good. And I was never a big Spider-Man 2099 fan, honestly. He was the best of those 2099 characters, the only one that I think is really useful anymore. But at the same time, I've got Peter Parker. I'm the same way with Miles Morales. I don't really need Miles Morales. I do think his costume looks kind of cool, and it's been pretty cool in all new, all different Avengers. Let's see, we got, this one especially, Spider-Man Deadpool. I guess this is, this is number 2. Spidey and Deadpool get a visit from Miles Morales. A goblin invasion puts Deadpool and the Spider-Men in a tight spot. I really enjoyed this comic. I thought it was really funny. It was definitely laugh out loud funny. And you gotta expect that when you put Spider-Man and Deadpool in the same place. Joe Casey's awesome. I really love Ed McGuinness's art. He did such a great job on this comic. And I've been critical of McGuinness in the past, but I definitely take that all back. He is an excellent artist, and you should check this out if you're a Spider-Man fan or a Deadpool fan. Plus, there's something big coming up with Deadpool. I don't know what that could be, but they're putting out a lot of Deadpool stuff, and this is one of the really good ones. And plus, Split Second number 2, I have to say that was a hilarious issue too. Totally Awesome Hulk number 3, prepare to meet your Foom. Amadeus is on the hunt for the biggest, greenest, baddest monster on the block, besides himself, of course, and an unlikely ally lends a hand. There you go. This is a comic I want to read. Not because, I like Greg Pak a lot, but I'm not totally behind the Amadeus Cho being the Hulk thing. But the whole what's happened with Bruce Banner thing is pretty intriguing. Finally, we have Ultimates number 4 and Weird World number 3. So there's your Marvel. Like I said, a lot of cool stuff. Lots of cool stuff. If you're a Marvel fan, this is a pretty dang good week, man. You should definitely be at your local comic store, whether that be here, or whether that be down the road, or over on the other end of town. There's definitely a place for you to go buy these comics. And we say, hey, come here. Even if you go there, come here too. 5 or more, you get 25% off. We'll talk about that later. Independence Time. One of my favorite comic books, James Bond, number 4. James Bond's alone in Berlin with nothing but the clothes on his back and the gun in his hand. When help is offered from an unexpected source, Bond has no choice but to accept it, even though it may guarantee that he doesn't live through the night. Dynamite Entertainment proudly continues the first James Bond comic book series in over 20 years. Ian Fleming's James Bond is an icon, and it's a delight to tell visual narratives with the original brutal, damaged Bond of the books, Warren Ellis. I'm a big Warren Ellis fan. I actually dropped Karnak just because 1 came out. I still haven't seen it 2. But that's the only reason I dropped it, just because it was too long. Injection and James Bond pretty well fill my fix, and I love Bond. Like, the last issue was awesome. When he dived through those boxes and came out and shot this guy through the face. It's definitely more of the Fleming books, but it's also James Bond. You're not going to be like, oh, I don't recognize this from the character of the movies. It's definitely that, because the character of the movies was based off the books. Very well written, and one of the things I like Warren Ellis is good with, Morrison, Aaron, a lot of these guys, I like them because they're writers that don't give you everything. The reader need to be able to use your imagination and put these things together. It's not handed to you. A lot of writers like to lay everything out, but these are cool because they let the artist do the work for you. And a lot of this issue is like scenes of action, no dialogue. It's just the action, and that carries itself, and it was done very well. I forgot the artist's name on James Bond, but he's very, very good. You should check this book out. It's only on 4. We can back order the rest. And it's a great title, especially if you're a Bond fan. And like I said, Bond hasn't had an ongoing series in forever. The fact that Warren Ellis is the writer is excellent. Moving on, IDW Publishing has got G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, number 225, and Transformers More Than Meets the Eye, number 49. Image Comics, Autumn Lands #9, also known as Tooth and Claw, Kurt Busiek, excellent writer. Blackjack Ketchum #3 of 4, Black Science #20, Rick Remender. Descender #10, as Tim 21 dives deeper into the mysteries of the Machine Moon, the amazing artificial world of the robot resistance. Andy, Driller, and Bandit come face to face with a startlingly new group called the Between. Major plot point, brand new character, Queen Between. This is the book that I most regret not sticking with. I love Lemire's stuff, especially creator-owned. Sweet Tooth was a great story. Can't say enough good things about that story. I never actually got to the end of it either. I got so far, like volume 4 or 5, maybe even 6. Just didn't finish it. Eventually, that's on my to-do list. But of all of his books, especially since I'm not going to get to keep up with as much of his Marvel stuff he's doing right now, I'm holding on to Old Man Logan. That's like the one X-Men thing I'm going to get. I let Extraordinary go, mainly just because I didn't want to follow the X-Men. Point is, of Jeff Lemire stuff, I think this is the best thing he's doing right now, and unfortunately I didn't stick with it. And those of you that did, maybe you can fill me in on everything. I didn't get past, volume 1, so I'm going to go back and get the trades and keep up with it that way. But they've already signed this for a movie. It's going to make a great movie. It's got a little bit of that Akira feel, but it's not that at all. At the same time, it's its own thing, but it's a very cool story. I can't say enough good stuff about Descender. Most of you that are reading it know exactly what I mean. One of my favorites, Injection #7. Detective and sandwich enthusiast Vivek Hedlund investigates the strange case of the man having an affair with the ghost of his dead girlfriend. Now, it seems that this is taking a different turn than Volume 1 had, and we're following this Vivek character who's kind of like a Sherlock Holmes, but different and much more of a jerk. But at the same time, I know the last issue, this guy was hiring him for a case, and his son went missing, and they ordered the sandwich, and he has his own personal cook, puts together the sandwich. He tastes the sandwich, is like, this is human meat. Turns out it was that dude's son. It was a pretty crazy issue, pretty oddly, it's dark humor obviously, but it was kind of funny too. So Warren Ellis, Red is another one that they turned that into a movie series. The comic was even deeper. As usual, the books are always better. It's kind of cliche of it all, but I have to say Injection's a really awesome comic book. And of the things Image is putting out, it's one of the best titles on Image, in my personal opinion. Obviously, Walking Dead's on that list too. Limbo #4 of 6. Low #11. Josh was originally going to be in this video, and he could tell you a lot about Low. I have not read it yet. I've been reading his Tokyo Ghost, obviously Rick Remender. Love Tokyo Ghost. Low, I've been hearing a lot of good things about. I need to kind of jump in and check that out. Next week, Josh will be here. Maybe we can get him thrown in a little spot with just to explain Low to those of you who haven't read. But just on the basis that Tokyo Ghost is so good, I would recommend checking out Black Science and Low too. Manhattan Projects, The Sun Beyond the Stars #4. This is a pretty cool comic too. Just saying. I had actually read Volume 1, and that was a really interesting read. Jonathan Hickman. Secret Wars. Excellent stuff. No Mercy #7, Spread #13, and They're Not Like Us #11. So there you go. That wraps up the Independence. It's DC Comics time. Yay. Batman #49. It is time. Bruce Wayne has reclaimed his true past as Batman. Now he must descend into the cave and face what he once was. Can he truly leave behind a life free from the pain and anguish of the Bat? Can he plunge once more into the madness and purpose that once consumed him? Is in this special thrilling issue, watches the fate of Bruce Wayne and Batman is decided once and for all. I'm excited about this issue. He's been gone too long, in my opinion. I really like Scott Snyder, and I'm not saying anything like the story's bad. It's not at all. It's a good story. Not my favorite of Snyder's, but I think that's also because as interesting as the exploration of Gordon was, it wasn't that long ago Bruce Wayne was taken out of the costume. I preferred it when Dick Grayson was taking over for Bruce, but you know, it's all been done recently. Plus, Grayson's got his own thing going, and I'm ready for Nightwing to come back too. I think it's interesting. A lot of comic companies like to explore the characters by putting them in different situations, and it helps the character grow. And I get all that, but at the same time, it's like sometimes I just want, as a reader, a regular Batman story. I want to see Batman solve a mystery, you know, like the Sherlock Holmes-ish Batman, the great, you know, world's greatest detective kind of thing. And I kind of miss that. I think we've gotten a lot into the exploring character thing and not enough of what the character is. And, you know, like I said, it's all cool to do all that, but at the same time, sometimes it's nice just to get a good regular Batman story, and I'm itching, for one, to get just a regular Batman solving a mystery story. It's like with Superman, too. Of course, it's going to be hard to do because everybody knows Clark's Superman, but I really wish we could get Clark and Lois go to do some investigative reporting. Trouble ensues. Superman has to come to the rescue. You know, it's just, man, is that too much to ask? But anyway, 49 is going to be excellent. I'm really looking forward to that. Batman 66 meets the Man from U.N.C.L.', number 3 of 6. Pretty cool concept. I'm kind of interested in that myself. Yet again, can't pick them all up, even with Batman in it. Batman and Robin Eternal, number 19. I've gone on and on and on and on and on and on about this comic. Love this comic. Great Dick Grayson story. If you're a Dick Grayson fan, you should be reading this one. Mother's an interesting character. I really like what they've done with Cassandra Cain and her dad David Cain and Azrael. They've tied this all together very nicely, and it's very, very, very cool. This big confrontation time. It's going to be bloody. It's going to be intense, and we're building to that. You know, this is not supposed to go 52 issues, so it should be wrapping up any time now. I'm almost kind of sad to see that happen because I'm not sure I'm going to stick with Grayson. I've already dropped Robin, son of Batman, so I don't know. I will say this though: enjoy it while it lasts, and if you're not reading, you should be. Batman, Arkham Knight, Batgirl, and Harley Quinn, number 1. I guess this is like a little one-shot. I didn't even hear anything about this. Just kind of snuck it right in there. Batman, Robin, Batman, Superman, number 29. The epic tale from another era in Clark and Bruce's history continues. Someone has put a bounty on Batman's head, and Lobo has come to collect. Lobo. Can Superman stop the intergalactic bounty hunter in time? Question is this really Lobo? I think this is Phobo. Original Lobo is Lobo. It's one of those new 52 things even I can't agree with, because I'm not a big Lobo fan, but honestly, the original Lobo was better. If I was Keith Giffen, I'd be like, what have you guys done? You made him all emo and like greaser? I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the new Lobo, but Tom Taylor's writing it. So, I really love the last issue. Adam McKay on the art too, man. It's a great team. I'm hoping after Tomasi does his across the board story that Tom Taylor will come back on this book. Really, because Tom Taylor needs to be put out there more. He's one of those writers, like him and Charles Soule. Those are the guys to pay attention to in this grouping of people. But I'm really stoked that he's on this. I love that first issue. You know, Tom Taylor's the man when it comes to this generation. Yeah, you should definitely be reading this book, especially if we get this movie coming out. Batman, Superman, look, the coolest team ever. I don't care who it is, man. Iron Man, Captain America, nothing against Iron Man and Captain America, but they're no Batman and Superman. Batman, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, number 3 of 6. Once again, if Josh was here, he'd tell you about it, but unfortunately, weather caused the timing to not really work out next week. Black Canary, number 8. Catwoman, number 49. Constantine the Hellblazer, number 9. Dark and Bloody, number 1 of 6. This is a Vertigo title. Dark Knight Returns, trade paperback, new edition. I don't talk about trades coming out that much, but this one's special because it's the Dark Knight Returns. Frank Miller. If you have not read this, you should read this. You can even get the movie that has the whole thing put together. We have had it here. I don't know if we have it right now, but I'm sure it will be in again. And you can always check Money Tree too. It's a very good movie, and the movie was actually done straight from the comic book, just like year 1. yet another one you should check out if you haven't watched. All written by Frank Miller, and Bruce Timm's the one that did the movies. Bruce Timm you would know from Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, Justice League, and Justice League Unlimited. Batman Beyond, let's not forget that. DC Comics Bombshells, number 9. Another from Vertigo, Fables, The Wolf Among Us, 14. Flash, number 48. I'm kind of excited about this because I'm a big Jesus Marino fan. He's doing the art on this comic. Brett Booth is good, but there's some critiques on Brett Booth. Not that he's a bad artist, and I definitely can't draw better than him, but everybody looks like a teenager when he draws. I don't know. I'm Jesus Marino, man. He did some really cool stuff with Superman and other comics, Team 7, and, he's awesome. So I'm really excited that he's on the Flash. But in the aftermath of the recent clash with Zoom, Flash finds himself on the run from the law, and the task force charged with arresting him is made up of his enemies, the Rogues. Interesting story. Very interesting. I can't wait to see where they're going to go with this. I would like to see Captain Boomerang come back in the Rogues, too. I know he's been off on the Suicide Squad, but I think the Suicide Squad's going to get a slight revamp now that Tim Seeley's on it. And we'll be getting to that here in a second. Gotham Academy, number 1. Another Tom Taylor book. Green Lantern Corps, Edge of Oblivion, number 2 of 6. Space begins to collapse around them. The Green Lanterns find there are many threats at the end of the dying universe. Some of those threats may even hide among the refugees the Lanterns now protect. I didn't get to finish all of the previous the Lost Army comic, so I'm a little bit lost on some details, but I jumped in because Taylor was writing, and I do like the Green Lanterns a lot, just haven't had the right one to read yet. I'm going to probably check out Green Lantern number 50 when it comes out, because all the 50s are cool. Harley's Little Black Book, number 2. Injustice Gods Among Us, Year 5, number 3. Legend of Wonder Woman, number 2. New Romancer, number 3, another Vertigo. I was just talking about this. New Suicide Squad, number 17. This is when Tim Seeley joins up, and we're going to visit the dark and unspeakably violent world of the Suicide Squad for a thrilling new storyline that begins here. An indentured supervillain, Harley Quinn, has made covert contact with someone outside the walls of Belle Reve Prison, and this mysterious saber has discovered the secrets of Amanda Waller and Task Force X. We got this movie coming out. I was really excited when I saw the movie. I love the Joker stuff. I think Leto's going to be the best Joker. I know. Crazy, isn't it? He's got tattoos, even though the Joker's very into self-mutilation, not crazy. The teeth, well, I'm sure Batman's knocked his teeth out a few times by now, so none of the stuff anybody's ever said about Leto's version of Joker I really agree with. I think it's more on the acting, and I can't knock Heath Ledger at all. I think he's a great actor, did a great job, but I don't think the directing really pushed the Joker where the Joker should be. The Joker, Greg Rucka said it best, the Joker should make you laugh and then immediately feel bad about what you laughed about. That's the Joker, and I did not get that from Nolan's version. It's all too worried about being realistic when, let's face it, a billionaire dressed up as a bat jumping across rooftops is not very realistic. It's not. So why ruin my character with your realism? That's what I say. This is a comic book. Let's try to enjoy it, people. Red Hood, Arsenal, number 9. Scooby-Doo, Where Are You, number 66. Another one from Vertigo, Slash and Burn, number 4. Starfire, number 9. And Telos, number 5. That wraps up DC. And now this is the part where you hear it from the vault.
And now, it's time for...
And I bring you X-Men number 102. This is pretty cool because it's right at the beginning, not the first, but right around that time, right after Giant Size X-Men, where you got Colossus, we got Nightcrawler, we got Storm, and we got Wolverine. This is probably one of my favorite lineups of the team. I read a lot of the stuff when I was a kid and the classic X-Men stuff. John Byrne and Claremont, which Claremont was on X-Men from the 70s all the way into the 90s. He is the X-Men guy. Everybody looks at Stan Lee, and Stan Lee's like the great uncle. But Chris Claremont's the one that really shaped the X-Men to what I love, and a lot of X-Men fans also would probably agree the best X-Men stuff was written by Claremont. So I think that's a pretty special issue just for the fact that you don't really get that anymore. And that's probably why I mainly dropped a lot of X-Men stuff, because I think the best out of the X-Men titles is definitely the Jeff Lemire one. I'm not a big fan of the art. I just, Iceman wearing a suit is just silly. The spiky hair is pretty silly, but the suit is really silly because an ice guy just does not need to keep warm. I'll keep saying this until somebody gets it. Why does an ice guy need to wear a suit? It's ridiculous. Anyway, point is, this 102 of X-Men, I can guarantee you, is in the 9s. I would say a 9.2. I'm not actually working for CGC or anything, but I use everything available out there to judge, and I would stand behind this being in the 9s, and you will not find copies this good just anywhere. Take your chances on eBay. Sure, you can probably get it cheaper in a bid if you're lucky, and I've done it. Hey, I got Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, I think 122. I'd have to look at it, but it's the first one that Kirby drew, and to me it was very special, but it's the first time Kirby drew Superman. But I got it for pretty cheap, and then eBay is a really cool way to go for things like that. At the same time, if you're one of those collectors, it's like, I gotta have a really good copy. I can guarantee you we have one of the best copies in this whole town. So there you go. Next week, obviously, we'll be talking more comics. Be building into some of these movies. We got Civil War, we got Superman versus Batman. It's an exciting time to be a comic book fan. Me, for one, being big Superman and Batman and Marvel, probably one of my favorite guys is Captain America. I have to say, this year is going to be awesome. Just a reminder again, get 5 or more titles here at Sherwood or Book and Music Exchange. You will get 25% off. It's pretty much a free comic. And it works out very well for those of us like myself who get so many comics. You kind of need that. And even I get so many, even with that discount, I had to drop some, which is, I get a decent amount of comics. We've got other subscribers that do too, and I know they're big fans of this deal. We've recently working on our file system a little more, trying to tighten things up and get it a little bit more, because we're still kind of working the kinks out, but things seem to be going pretty well, seem to be getting more of you in, and I would like to take this time to thank each and every one of you for your support. Not only our store, but the Money Tree and the other stores in town too, because it's, in my opinion, the more people that are selling comics, the more it's good for the comic fans. If you miss something here, you go down there. If you miss something there, you can come over here. And it works out great for everybody. So thanks for all the support that you've thrown our way. It definitely means a lot. Thanks for watching the videos. Leave comments, do whatever, it's been very cool. Money Tree, if you go down there, we have excellent back issues. I just bought an Iron Fist comic, actually Marvel Premiere number 22 with Iron Fist, first time Danny Rand to show, $5. It was very good, but it's still a very nice copy. It's very good. It's still very readable. Can't always get near events. It's kind of, especially older stuff's hard to find near events. But it was a nice copy. I was pretty happy to find it. I can't really say much. I'm actually the one that put it out too. But anyway, the point is, there's a lot of cool stuff over there. Most of the other Iron Fist I sent over there got bought up. Shame on me for not getting there sooner. But there's Luke Cage, there's Captain America, there's Iron Man, there's everything. Superman, Batman, your standards. We got it all over there. And if you get have a file over here, you get 10% off on the back issues over there. Why not? Why not? Even if you're buying somewhere else and you're just wanting to throw in some more comics, like me, I'm over here like, man, I really hate having to drop Extraordinary and All New Wolverine. I need to go somewhere else and get a good deal and be able to pick those up. So we're those people. If you want to pick a few more up, well, you're welcome to come over here and sign up. So thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks to everybody for supporting us. Read more comics and enjoy. Do it for the fun of it. Don't take it so seriously, fanboy. And I will see you next week.